There we go. Fab. So I'm going to suggest we get started in a seat today. If you want to grab things like a block or something to sit on, any seat is welcome. I am going to start cross-legged, but if you want to have the legs in a different position, know that you can kind of unravel them or take them wherever they need to. And then know that everything today is an invitation. I mentioned we've got a bit of a focus on kind of our eagle arms, or eagle or Garundasana will be a theme throughout practice today. But this idea of creating like space around the back of the body and then space around the front of the body, just to kind of loosen the spine, loosen the shoulders, all of that area that like middle of the day can get quite crunchy, for want of a better word. So we'll start actually with that in mind. We let our hands just kind of drop down and just taking a few exploratory rolls of shoulders. So lifting shoulders to the ears, circling them around. We'll do maybe 3 or 4 of these. And it might be that some of those crunchy bits make themselves known here at this point. See if we can welcome them. So welcoming ourselves just as we are to our practice. And then on the next one, let the shoulders drop somewhere away from the ears. So we're sat fairly nice and tall here. If you were to bring your shoulders back so they're stacked over the pelvis, or this sense that the spine is kind of drawing us up a little bit taller. And then can we bring in a little bit of ease? Thing about our eagle pose is the eagle pose itself is a lot of effort. It's quite a big posture. So we'll also ebb and flow between this kind of idea of effort and ease. So if we were to find, say, the tallest seat that you can here, the most effort to sit tall, and then let a bit of ease or softness kind of drop back in. Fab. Say hello to our breath here as well, breathing in through the nose. And find a gentle exhale out through the mouth. And we'll build into that here. So breathing back in through your nose. And an exhale or a sigh through the mouth. So as we breathe in through the nose, see if you can draw the breath low towards the belly. And then again, as you exhale, that sense of kind of softness or the release of the air back out. And I'm going to guide us through just 5 more of these. So breathing in. And out through the mouth. Breathing in through the nose. And out through the mouth. 3 more. Breath in when you're ready. And let the exhale just drop away. Breath in as you're ready. You exhale or sigh out. And then you're really welcome to repeat this pattern. I'm going to stop guiding the inhale and the exhale, but let that kind of sense of repetition continue. It might be that you switch to breathing in and out through the nose. See if you can find within that own cadence or rhythm of breath a sense of steadiness and a sense of ease. So particularly when we come towards a few more challenging balances, breath can sometimes help us find our steadiness there. One, because of that sense of calming, but also because when we breathe with more focus, all of the muscles around the torso have to get involved in the breath. And therefore they help to steady the core or the center. Let's bring some gentle movements back in here, starting to wriggle through the fingers and through the toes. Let's let the left ear drop down towards the left shoulder, or whichever side you go, it doesn't really matter, because we're going to take this side to side. But pause for a moment on that first one and just see if the ear can really kind of drop, or the shoulder even can really drop away from the ear. Sometimes it needs time on that first one. And then as slow as you can, draw the chin down towards the center of the chest and then all the way around so the opposite ear comes down towards the shoulder. So for me, that's right ear. For you, whichever side you didn't just do. And again, we'll give it a bit of time here on this first one. Notice if it feels different to the other side or the same. And then can we take that through left and right? So as the chin drops down towards the center, rolling back around towards the left, up, and then around towards the right. And I'll give you a little bit of space here. So you could keep this kind of semicircle movement going. If it feels like actually you want to lift the chin all the way up and around and take a full circle, then you're really welcome to explore that as well. What we're bringing in here is some movement around through the neck, and we are going to take that through to the shoulders as well. So the next time that you bring your chin down towards the chest, can you pause here? Like we did at the beginning, can you lift the shoulders to the ears, but rather than taking a circle, can you draw the shoulders back down and imagine the neck gets a little bit longer? Great. This time, inhale to take the hands to the sky. Depending how your shoulders feel, you can keep the arms wide and give yourself space here. For a bit more stretchiness, you could interlace your fingers and push the palms to the sky. And listen into the body, particularly early in practice. Take a moment to be here. If you want more, you can look up towards the ceiling as well. And then we're going to gently release the fingers and take the right hand down towards the ground. You can land either on the palm or the fingertips and take the opposite hand up and over here. So the top palm faces towards the ground, and there's a tiny little difference that we can bring in here. And that difference is to draw the top shoulder back and look up towards the sky. And that should hopefully bring a little more sensation of stretch around the left edge of the body. And we'll do the same thing to the other side. So the top hand cartwheels around, let it land. And then now the right hand is overhead. Palm of that right hand is facing towards the ground. And again, you can bring the same thing in here. The top shoulder moves back. So it's almost like the chest is lifting ever so slightly to the sky. And then the chin lifts up towards the sky or towards the elbow as well. Breathing down the edge of the body. And then as we bring ourselves upright, let's take both hands towards the sky again here. Drawing the elbows out wide. And we'll take some kind of cactus arm flow movements here. So we're bringing in the sense of breath. The idea is that on the exhale, we draw the elbows and the palms towards each other in front of the body. And start to draw the chin down and let the elbows sink down as well. So a little bit like a kind of seated cat pose, but with our palms together. The inhale, draw the elbows out, lift the chest like a cow pose, looking up or forward. So then we'll move with the breath. So the exhale, elbows and palms towards each other. Inhale, opening that space back out. Great, exactly. Twice more. Exhale, elbows and palms towards each other. Inhale, opening, and you can add a little back bend if that feels okay. One more time. Draw the elbows and the palms together. Let the spine round as you come forwards. And then as you open back out to your cactus arms, we're going to hold that there. See if you can release the hands out wide. So take a big T shape. Imagine that someone is pulling the arms in opposite directions. So we're trying to create space across the back body here by then wrapping the arms or the hands to opposite shoulders to begin with. So one elbow crosses on top, does not matter which. See if you can almost reach around for the shoulder blades with your fingertips. And then as if you're giving yourself a big hug here, squeezing in tightly, let the spine round. So it should hopefully feel a little bit like the space between the shoulder blades is opening or finding some stretch. And then on the inhale, can we find the T shape of the arms again? So drawing the elbows out wide, the palms out wide, and we're going to do the same thing, but with the opposite elbow on top. So this time, whichever elbow wasn't on top last time is on top. Squeezing into the shoulder blades, and then as you squeeze, let the spine round, let the chin tuck down again here. On your next inhale, opening the arms out wide. And then this time, can you take the hands behind you? See if you can interlace your fingers to find a fist and push the fist to tailbone. If that doesn't feel available today, you could place the palms on the lower back. But this time we're trying to open around the front of the chest. So the shoulder blades squeeze together, the chest lifts slightly, and then depending how your neck is doing today, you could lift the chin to sky, or you could just stay exactly as you are. Take a round of breath here. Fab. And then nice and slowly, with the hands staying behind you, start to lean the chest and the chin forwards. Start to drop the chin as the chest comes forwards. You might peel your hands away from your lower back, so as if the hands are kind of pushing to the space behind you. They can stay rested on your lower back if you prefer. And then let's release everything down. Let's release the hands from behind us, bring them towards the ground. And then let yourself just almost kind of melt towards the ground here. We're going to come to tabletop in a moment. You could tuck the chin. We'll take 2 breaths here. So find either stillness or have a little bit of a kind of sway-like movement side to side here. Doesn't have to be exact. And know that any of those kind of extra wriggles or moments of pause are welcome in your practice. From here, we'll find our way to our tabletop. So if you were to either roll over the shins or lift the torso, moving the legs to one side and coming onto the hands and onto the knees here. I'm just going to remove my necklace out of the way so it's not catching on the mic. We're going to spread our hands nice and wide down onto our mats. We're going to focus again on that kind of upper part of the spine here in our cat-cows. So can you sink the shoulders down as we come into our cow pose as well? Belly drops down still, looking forwards, tailbone finds the sky. And then really push into the ground and see if you can lift the shoulder blades up as much as you can, tuck the chin in your cat. And then we move with breath. So the inhale finds cow pose as we might normally do here. And then that exhale rounding through the back body to find your cat. Keep moving through those with your breath, inhaling each time to find cow pose, looking forwards. Each exhale, moving to your cat pose. If the shoulders again can be the thing that's moving the most here, maybe even more than the pelvis, which is pretty tricky. Take one more at your own pace, and we're going to see if we can meet in our cat pose. So on that next cat pose, holding there, tuck the chin as tightly as you can. So you're almost trying to look towards the belly button here. Keep the center rounding up through the spine and draw the pelvis backwards towards your child's pose. If you can keep the rounding through the spine as long as you can, trying to add a little more stretch. But at some point, when you come into your child's pose, that curve in the spine will release slightly. You can take your elbows to the ground, or you can reach your hands forwards and have a bit more length through the arms here. Chest and head come down towards the ground in your child's pose. Take a moment for a little bit of stillness. In and out here. And then almost as slow as you came down, can you then start to lift back up? We're going to meet in our downward facing dog. So at some point, toes tuck, knees lift, pelvis goes towards the sky. Once you're there, take those familiar pedals through your feet, bending one knee and then the opposite knee. You might give the head a really kind of gentle yes shake or a no shake here. From this downward facing dog, start to look forwards and walk your feet up towards the hands until you find a forward fold here. You could have your hands dangle towards the ground or take hold of opposite elbow. Again, a kind of gentle shake or nod of the head. Breath in and out here. Let's release the hands towards the ground. Take a slow roll all the way up to standing, that uncurling of the body. And as you come up, let the shoulders roll back and down. We're going to take 3 Surya Namaskar A, Sun Salutations A here. So the inhale, we're rising the hands up towards the sky, extended mountain, with soft knees folding forwards and down. Lifting halfway, so the hands find the shins or knees, or halfway lift. And then bringing the palms to the ground to step to plank pose. And you can bend your knees as much as you need to on the way. I'm going to suggest we lower knees on the first one. From your knees, bend the elbows to bring the chest to the ground, the belly as well, and then scooping the chest up and forwards to find our cobra pose. Toes up, downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, looking forwards. You might walk, take a few steps, or however you find the top of your mat. Lifting halfway when you get there, folding back down. Extended mountain to rise all the way towards the sky. The hands reach up and over, and we're simply going to repeat that same flow twice more. Let the exhale fold you forwards and down. Let the inhale lift you halfway. Exhale to plant the palms, bend the knees generously to step to plank pose. And then you can continue from your knees or from your toes to lower all the way down to the ground. Scooping up and forwards to your cobra. And then downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, looking forwards, walking or stepping, or take a hop top of your mat. Lifting halfway on the inhale. The exhale, fold you. Inhale, extended mountain rising all the way up towards the sky. Exhale to fold you forwards and down. Inhale, lifting halfway. Exhale, palms land, stepping to your plank pose. One foot and then the other. Lower to your mat. Scooping up and forwards to your cobra. Meeting downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, look forwards, find your way to the top of your mat, forward fold. Lifting halfway, folding down, rising to the sky. Stick the hands up and over, but this time, let the hands or the palms meet here. Bring the palms down towards the center of the heart. We're going to take that same movement with our arms that we took just before we folded in our seat. So if we take our hands behind us here, you can either reinterlace, find a fist and push your fist to your tailbone, or you can simply rest your hands on your lower back. Either way, think about drawing the shoulder blades together, that lift and openness across the front of the body. Chin might go up towards the sky here. Again, with a bit of a bend in the knees. So rather than locking out the knee joint, a tiny bend of knees. Start to lean forwards with the chest, hinging at the hips to come back to your fold. And then as you fall down, let the chin tuck. You could have your hands rest on your lower back, or you can play with sending your hands somewhere up to the sky here. So they don't have to go particularly high, but we're trying to find a little bit more stretch for the shoulders. One more round of breath here. And then gently release the hands down towards the ground, almost like trickling water. The hands release to your mat. I'm going to step just the right foot back here, drop the right knee down, and come to our low lunge. So you might want to take a moment just to organize any props. If you want something underneath your knee or to fold your blanket here, we will be on the knee for a little bit of time. We're going to bring back in kind of eagle arm flow, or at least the cactus arm part of our flow here, and then we'll have a play with our first eagle arms, but low from our lunge. So we actually want our front foot to be a little further forwards than it might normally. So normally we're like, let's find a right angle. Take your left foot maybe like an inch or two further forwards. And if we create lengthening through the spine by lifting the arms up here, when we draw the pelvis forwards, and the elbows wide to this cactus arm shape. So this is going to be kind of point one of this flow, lunge with our cactus arms. Point 2, we're going to lengthen through our front leg, bring the elbows and the palms towards each other, and then sinking the elbows towards the knee. Doesn't mean that it has to be anywhere near actually touching. So it's our half splits with the palms and elbows towards each other. And then with breath. So the inhale, moving forwards, elbows come out. The exhale, palms and elbows towards each other, lengthening through that front leg. Twice more. Inhale, practicing the arms. Exhale, half splits, palms together. One more time, inhaling. And then exhaling, half splits, elbows and palms towards each other. As you go forwards, holding that space, the elbows draw out wide here. Depending how much space you have around you, you might then take the arms into that big kind of T shape here. So one arm out to the right, one arm out to the left, just as we did seated. Can you wrap the left elbow on top of the right? Find either opposite shoulder, and maybe actually opposite shoulder to begin with. A little bit of squeeze in here, and we can stay here. Or we can find that around each other. So the palms come towards each other, or the right hand first. Typically, if the elbows are lifted, or towards the top surface. If you feel like there's a challenge, we can tuck your back toe, lift your back knee. You can also keep that knee down. Breath in and breath out. If you have the back knee lifted, let's bring the back knee down. Use the elbows and open back to that cactus arm shape. Bring the hands wide all the way down to the mat. We're stepping to the top of our mat. So we're looking forwards, tucking the back toe and stepping forwards. Forward fold. Don't be to give the shoulders a bit of a kind of shake and just a wriggle here. Maybe less yoga, more just a moment of wriggliness. We're going to look to do the same to the other side. So if we slide or step the left foot back, drop the left knee down, and come into our lunge. And again, feel free to pad your knee. Front foot takes like an inch or two forwards. And you can always play with that. The idea is to have enough space to find that kind of length through the leg when you come into half splits. So it might be different for both of us or anyone watching the recording. Pelvis comes forwards. Keep a sense of lift through the front body. Elbows come wide to our cactus arm shape. And then on the exhale, half splits, elbows and palms towards each other, a slight rounding through the spine. Fab. Inhale, drawing forwards, elbows out wide to our cactus arm shape. Exhale, elbows and palms together. Inhale to our cactus lunge. Exhale to our half splits. One more just like this. Inhaling forwards and opening. Exhaling, elbows and palms towards each other. As you go forwards, hold that space there again. And then see if you can take the arms out wide in a T shape. And I have a wall right next to me, so mine don't quite go in a T shape. But you get the idea. See if we can bring right elbow on top this time, and then opposite shoulders. Fab. Give it a good squeeze in here. And move it, this sensation across the back of the shoulders is still the same. Obviously, we're just adding in that wrap. So if you want to add your eagle arm wrap, you're welcome to wrap the elbow around each other, around each other, whichever one it is, whether it's here or here. So if you can lift the elbows, if you want more challenge, tuck your back toe and lift the back knee up. Immediately a wobble. Let that wobble be there if it is. Steadiness of breath, focus. And then slowly lower the heel back down. It's almost like an opening or a spreading of the wings. So as you lift the elbows, let the arms reach out wide, like you're spreading your wings. Hands come all the way down, stepping to your forward fold. You might take the feet a little bit wider on this forward fold and give the shoulders a little bit more of a shimmy or a shake around here. Let's take a couple more breaths in this forward fold. You could stay exactly as you are or add any little bits of movement that you might like. And then let your hands release towards the ground, slowly rolling all the way up to standing. Take the hands up and over towards the sky. Big breath in to rise tall. Exhale to fold forward and up. Inhale, lifting halfway. Let your palms land, step to your plank pose, one foot and then the other. Lower all the way down to your mat. Inhale to scoop up and forwards to your cobra. Exhale to either find down dog or to find your child's pose. So let yourself choose which place that you want to land in. We're going to be there for around 3 or so rounds of breath. So maybe it's a bit of stillness. Maybe it's a re-wriggle out through the feet. Take a moment to find the steadiness of breath here. Maybe it's the nose that you breathe in and out of. And then let's meet again in our downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, taking the left leg to the sky here. And just for a moment, see how it feels to bend your left knee. Lift that left knee up. So let the pelvis tilt here as much as it needs to and the torso twist as much as it needs to. Just finding some opening space around the pelvis, the hip joint. And then can we slowly step the left foot to the left thumb. Drop your right heel down. Think warrior 2 feet. Right hand circles up. So the right toe is facing the long edge of your mat. Front toes are forwards, that knee tracking towards the front toe. Warrior 2. Reaching forward, flipping the front palm. Reverse warrior, front hand rises up towards the sky. On the exhale, can you draw the elbow down to the inside of the knee? Extended side angle, right hand reaches up and over. And then can we meet again in warrior 2? And slightly strangely, we're going to turn our palms to face the right edge of the mat and turn the torso to face the right edge of the mat. And it's just going to change slightly the pelvis. Listen to your knee. So if your knee is saying, no, I need to be over here, and the pelvis still needs to face to the front a little, find that. The focus is going to be on our eagle arms again here. So from here, from our T shape, can we bring left elbow on top, find opposite shoulder fat. Now you can stay again holding the shoulders, or we can take a wrap arm, holding it with our arms around. And then it's a slow, now torso to face towards the top of the Spread how it feels on purpose. Your back foot wants to change, let it change. We also have to feel the right foot elbows back for a second. Then we're going to be taking a big step in our balance all the way to the top of the leg. So if you can lift your back here, so you're already kind of forward, turn the first torso to face all the way through. And then with that foot, takes a big step up, knee lifts, and then the knee wraps over that lower leg. You can always have your right toe on the ground, or the right toe wraps around the back of the left calf. Bending through the knees here. So this focus returns. The breath returns. A lot of effort. In a moment, we'll try and find a bit of ease for the shoulders. Just like we did in our lunge, can you lift the elbows? Let the arms open like you're taking your eagle arms into a big wingspan. Lift the knee and then step back with the right foot. Find warrior 2 again. Just notice how the shoulders feel after all that effort. Inhale to reach forward, flip the front palm. Front hand rises to the sky. Exhale to cartwheel the hands to the ground, lifting the back heel to find your downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, rolling forward to a plank pose, all the way down to the ground. Inhale to lift to your cobra. Exhale to find downward facing dog. And we're going to simply move through that to the other side. So if you were to take this time your right leg up towards the sky, you might play with bending your right knee, lifting the right knee high here. Let the pelvis tilt, the torso tilt as much as it needs to. And then nice and slowly, we're stepping the right foot up to the right thumb. Left heel drops, so warrior two with the back foot. Left arm circles you up and over. Back. Warrior two, we have that tension between the feet kind of gripping us wide and the thighs drawing back in towards the center. Reaching forwards to flip the front palm, front hand rises to sky, reversing our warrior. On the exhale, extended side angle, elbow towards the inside of the knee, left hand up and over. Warrior two, coming back to that center. And then again, we're doing that slightly strange thing. We're bringing the awareness all to the left side of the mat. So turn the torso to face a bit towards the left, the arms in a T shape, palms facing to the left. And then if we cross our elbows over, and the right elbow go on top this time, maybe you find opposite shoulder, maybe you find that wrap into your eagle arms. Great. Think about slowly drawing the torso to face back towards the top of the mat. It might be that it doesn't go all the way. Maybe it's kind of towards the left top corner slightly. Lift the elbows a bit, looking towards the ceiling. And then can you slowly lift the back heel so we do turn the pelvis all the way forward so we come to our high lunge. A challenge of balance to come to our eagle. Look forwards. Bend the front knee generously so we can step the left knee all the way up. Left ankle or left knee crosses over right. You might wrap the lower foot around or let your left toe land, finding our eagle or Garundasana pose on that other side. Focusing in. Everything is kind of squeezed in tightly here. Breath in and out, still there. And then again, only in my opinion, but the best bit, the coming out. Spread your eagle arms. Let your left knee lift as you do, like you're taking flight. Step to warrior two. And then just let the arms kind of release a little. Feel free to give them a shimmy or a shake in your warrior two. Reaching forwards to flip the palm. Reverse warrior, front hand rises to the sky. On the exhale, we are cartwheeling the hands to the ground, stepping to your downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, rippling forward to your plank pose, lower to your mat. Inhale to lift to cobra. And then this time, let's meet in our child's pose. If we send the pelvis all the way back towards the heels, you can kind of explore where your shoulders need to be. It might be that you want to actually slide your hands to the outside of your knees so the fingers are reaching towards the back of the mat. You can always do that with a block underneath your head for a bit of support. See if we can let the breath slow here. We are going to start to slow things down towards a bit of rest. So there's no rush here, but I'm going to invite us to meet in a downward facing dog. So you can take a moment through a cat cow on the way if you'd like to. You can go straight to down dog if you prefer. And then from that downward facing dog, walking the feet slowly towards the top of the mat. Let the torso hang out over the legs. Because we haven't really done loads with our hips today, we'll take a moment in Malasana before we come to the back. So if we take the feet as wide as the pelvis, rotate the toes out, and then bend the knees to come down into Malasana. Hands can either stay on the ground or you can bring palms together at the heart. If you do have palms together, find that slight kind of push of the knees out with the elbows, and then a bit of feedback back. So the knees are kind of drawing inwards. So you've almost got like two things pushing in opposite directions. So if you can sit taller through the spine. And we're going to come all the way down into our seat today. If you want challenge, you can try and balance down. You can also take a hand behind you to collect your glutes. If you're balancing, let's take the hands forwards. Find a little up energy first. So lifting and then sending the heels down, the glutes down, maybe with a bump. Shuffling forwards enough on your mat so that you can eventually come down onto your mat. You're going to take the feet about the width of the pelvis or slightly wider here. Let the hands reach forwards, and your knees can go as wide as they need to reach the torso between the knees. So we're kind of taking a fold, but we're taking out the leg stretch. We're just finding compression around the front of the pelvis here, reaching the fingertips forwards, almost as if you're trying to hold on to something out in front of you. And then this is what we'll take all the way down to the ground. So from here, slowly roll back. See if you can roll all the way down, and as you roll down, whatever it is you imagine holding in your hands, we're going to take that all the way up and over and let the hands either land in any way you want to. It could be a big old stretch. It could be that the hands simply just land on the mat and pause there. And then when you're ready, scoop the knees to your chest. Because we've been focusing on eagle today, we might take eagle legs for our twist. So the left knee crosses over your right knee. And then can you sway over to the right here with the knees? You can absolutely then unravel the legs if you'd rather have the knees stacked. Take your hands where they need to be. Might be out in a T shape. You could rest a hand on a knee, chin to sky, or in the opposite direction. Nice and gently coming through center. We'll do the same to the other side. So this time the right knee crosses over the left, and then swaying the knees over to the left. Again, adjust your arms as you need to. Maybe you're looking to the ceiling. Maybe you're looking away from your knees. Feel free to let an exhale release out through the mouth. Finding center. You might give yourself another big squeeze of your knees to chest here. And we're going to meet in a Shavasana. You mentioned having a bolster, so if you want to place your bolster to the back of the knees, you are really welcome to, or find a position just for a moment of rest here before we close practice. If that wants to be more seated, of course, you're welcome to be seated here, or you can stay on the back of your body. Let your hands land, whether that's alongside the body or whether you place the palms onto the torso here. Give yourself a moment of stillness. Maybe the eyes close here for a moment. And keeping most of your body still here, let your chin turn over towards the left shoulder and pausing there, finding that bit of stretch again around the neck, maybe the front of the shoulder. And then nice and slowly bring the chin through center and then all the way around towards the right. So looking over right shoulder this time. Coming back through to center. And you could stay just as you are, or start to bring some gentle wriggles in here. Maybe the fingers, the toes, a stretch or a yawn. I really like to close practice seated. It might be that you want to take extended Shavasana, or you could stay where you are, or take any of those kind of stretches, wriggles, or movements that you need, and slowly find your way back to a seat. I'm going to kind of close where we began with a few slow breaths. So if we can really focus on diaphragmatic breathing, so the breath drawing down towards the belly, or almost as if the belly is kind of expanding outwards on the inhale, and then that soft drawing in on the exhale. And we'll take about 5 or 6 of these together. If it's helpful, you can rest your hands to the torso somewhere, or you can just have the hands rested wherever you need to. And then inhaling towards the belly, and exhaling through the mouth. A breath into the belly, out through the mouth. Breathing in and out. Twice more like this, breathing in and out. Breathing in and out. Let yourself release that breath practice, coming to your natural breath. Maybe the hands also release down to your knees or thighs. Thanking yourself for taking the time to be on your mat this lunchtime. And we'll just close practice with a gentle nod or a bow to each other.